How's it going, buddy?
I don't know why minute came last.
I don't know why
I
either.
don't know either.
I was thinking that I was like at the hour, the second, the minute, and I'm like, what?
That's the face of a man who just had to run somewhere to reset something.
Yeah.
My router hard crashed.
Oh.
Oh.
Like completely shut down and everything.
Oh no.
So
In the as the words of Zuko, that sucks, buddy.
That's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. Damn it, I messed it up. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm like actively doing a rewatch of both series right now.
Nice.
You're so good.
Every now and then when the world is terrible, I'm like, Last Airbender will fix it.
Yes, absolutely.
That's me with Appleseed. I'll just sit down and watch Appleseed.
That's fair. That's fair.
What's happening?
Every now and Appleseed is an anime. It's very good.
It's very good.
Oh my god, it's like kind of mecha, but kind of not. It's really hard to explain.
One of my first anime crushes is in it.
Is it the big robot?
Yeah.
You.
No judgment.
We judge and we don't listen.
I don't think that's how that trend goes.
I don't think that's how that goes, Neon.
That's how it goes.
It looks like I'm back. I apologize.
Looks like you're back.
Everything is live again.
Yes.
Sorry. Blackwell, you come up the stairs. Theo comes up the stairs. Heroin greets you. I don't know when I cut off on that. So
you cut off at you.
You have a better understanding of time, I think, is the last thing we got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is future me like? I don't know. No, Theo would never have really. No, Theo did see future me plug into the console the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were all there.
Are they alert and awake, or is it like I don't even know if he knows how future me looks when they're asleep?
Yeah, future me is up and awake. I've probably just turned away from the panel, so I'm not connected to it, but I am by it.
I think he would call up to future me and say, is it future me? Could you, what happened?
I simply took the most direct route to buy us the most amount of time and get us out of immediate danger, as instructed.
Could you explain that route to me? Like, where are we now?
We are currently floating above neutral waters in a randomized pattern to avoid detection for the current time.
And those people who were coming towards us,
a military force. Shh, it's okay.
What happened to them?
They were used as additional charge, as I am currently unaware of if the city continues to consume charge as we continue, or if we will need to recharge in the future. Additionally, it allows us to fly at a higher rate for longer, reducing our chances of being detected.
I think there's a moment of silence, like maybe a minute or two, as Theo's taking this in. I think it's clear cut, like between Heroin and Future Me, that there's a sense of like there is like discomfort. As he says, "Are you okay with what you just did?"
I am okay with what I just did. In the grand scheme of things, this city has the capacity to become something beautiful. At the same time, we were instructed to ensure that it's remained out of the hands of any politically inspired body, as it would wreak destruction upon the world and anyone who stood to oppose them. As it currently stands, this city is now out of reach and out of mind of most government bodies, as they will be unable to follow us or have any idea where we currently are.
You don't feel any remorse for what you had to do.
They are just different. Remorse is something that is best felt for those that we are attached to. These people were part of a military. They knew what they had signed up for. And, for all intents and purposes, to the best of our assumption and knowledge, they were coming to remove us permanently and force difference upon us. Life comes and goes. It is my regret that many people are now not going to be able to continue to change and grow over time. However, energy does not come from nowhere or disappear without a trace. The best we can do is hope that that energy, that difference, is made to a larger amount of people going forward.
I think Theo would sigh. It's this exhausted kind of, he's been doing this thing for so long, and to hear that, it's just that sigh of resignation as he says, you can still feel empathy and sadness for the things that you still do. And if you can't see that, I can't help you. As he just turns and walks out.
I understand. I am sorry.
Kind of just waves his hand. Like that wave of
It was for your safety. I hope you understand.
He's gone. I think he finds like a cubicle, like the ones that we found previously. He's just gonna sit there, kind of just like head in hand, just breathe.
Nyx, Pixie, and Alice. For a while now, it's just been the three of you. Some alone time to reflect or think about what's happened. What does that look like for you? You've had some time to reflect on things. Alice, I'm sure you've got thoughts. Have you voiced them, Nyx? You've got a lot of things that are going on.
I mean, Lucie processes everything through writing, for sure. So, like, she would let her companions know, like, if you need anything or you need to talk about anything, you can let me know. This is kind of just how I think. But you're not interrupting if you, like, have something to say or need anything. And then she's just, like, knows in her journal kind of, it's gone from like her really specific archaeological journal to like a feelings journal to take like like she would take to her next therapy appointment or something. Kind of writing it all down.
You're getting therapy. You're all getting therapy.
Like it just helps her process big things. So.
I think Nyx just silently just gets up and picks up the pieces of the collar and without saying a word to anybody just walks away. Just walks away. Well, slithers away. I can't walk, but slithers away. And it's just he's processed, but he's also terrified at this point. Mortified. So he is just walking away. And just he's walking away and he's holding the book in his pocket with one hand. The sending stone he sent to his pocket. Pretty sure the sending stone is not working right now, also because he hasn't said anything in a bit, so they probably cut communications. And he's just I just got a notification on my phone, my computer saying camera is no longer active, but my camera is working fine. Great. We'll
It's
say,
fine for us.
we'll just say that Nyx is going for a walk, and you can do whatever you need to do while I fix this. Nyx is just gonna go for a walk.
Fair. Alice is looking out, I guess, over the waters as they rotate. And to no one in particular, but knowing that if her companions want to chime in like they can, just says, can you do something bad for the right reason?
Yeah, you fixed it. You got it.
You got it.
Hey.
I didn't want to interrupt.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on what the right reason is. But I think I'm kind of confused on that myself too.
If future me did what I think they might have, can we go along with it, or will it impede, what's the word you use, our humanity?
That's kind of tough too, because right now, I mean, like you said, if what you think happened, I mean, I feel I feel responsible for it too, and I mean, we're a group, we're a team, so I think that everybody's probably, on the outside, also gonna see it as being all of us. And I don't know. Humanity or no-manity or whatever is all like really hard to explain, Boy, I wish I was better at this kind of thing. Maybe though, I mean, if we like actually get a slow minute, maybe I could like show you some stuff that I've written about like things that I've learned about different cultures of living beings, and I don't know, maybe you get a feel from there. But in this situation, and I specialize in the past, so like if this had happened 1,000 years ago, I might have a like good strong opinion on it. But I'm gonna have to think about it.
Yeah. Alice will kind of like let out like a whistle, as in like a hum,
Mm-hmm.
a whistled hum, and just nod,
She is a steam train.
turning to look out. Mm-hmm.
Blackwell. Moving to Theo. When Theo leaves, does he go anywhere specifically? Having left the space.
To one of the cubicles that they all found, like one of the office spaces. I think were there doors, or is it just like that you could just walk in?
You can just walk in. They're very open concept kind of styling.
Yeah. He would just sit at somebody's desk, somebody's table, wherever there was a chair, desk, just take a seat, have his hands in his head, just, still rubbing his ring and just breathing. Taking it all in. Because again, been on many adventures. He's done some things. He's caused some like minor, like probably instances like maybe an earthquake here, maybe like a waterfall kicked in there. Nothing on this grand of a scale, though.
Sitting at the desk, there's almost like a gossamer glow. You notice kind of over top of the desk. Kind of like, you know, when you leave a computer running and it's like the screen's gone black, but it's not actually off, and there's kind of that little edge of light around it.
Mhm.
That kind of glow from the desk as you sit at it.
Can I tap at the table?
Yeah, you
See what
definitely
it
can.
does?
As you go to touch it, what looked again to be like a solid surface, kind of almost like ripples underneath as you touch. This is probably something very similar to what it is, and you notice that there's writing that's now kind of like hovering just over top of the section.
Can I understand it, or is it written in a whole other language?
It's written in Elvish.
God dang it.
I think he'll get up from the table. At the same time, knowing Theo, he's going to tap it a few times, see if the words kind of even remotely change, or is it just more ripples?
It's like scrolling, like as you go to like kind of touch it, it's like kind of like flipping pages on a book. Is the sensation Theo would understand that's going on here. It's cycling through information. It's presenting something to him specifically.
Considering he can't read it, I think Theo's gonna just kind of sigh and say, and like tell himself, okay, well, I can't figure this out. Might as well see if they can figure this out. As he goes up to future me.
As you get up and you walk away from the desk, it like the slate clears itself. It seems to be reacting to you specifically.
Everybody hydrate.
Moon.
No,
No,
no.
Geek. It was Geek. I was like, oh, you got me all
Moon
geek.
told me to set at a certain point in time if she is not on the stream to make sure that people hydrate.
Well,
I
then,
got-
Well, thank you, Moon.
Moon.
I was voluntold.
It's an important duty to be the
It is.
assigned hydrator by Moon.
know.
Assigned hydrator by Moon.
We need that. I need to make a shirt for her that just says.
I still,
Yep, gotta make a shirt.
I still
for
have my bottle,
Your moon water.
my moon water. Yeah. Moon's hydration fluid.
Moon's hydration fluid.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I head
So
up to
it's-
future me to tell them like what I just saw.
Oh, god damn it.
Yes.
Hey, my camera's being messy.
There are many arcane terminals located around the city. It is not uncommon for one to activate now that we have restored more power.
Could you decipher what it may be saying?
Yes, I can read fluent and Elvish.
And probably once David's back, I'll let him know, like, yeah, we're going back down to the cubicle.
I think you can
All
still
right,
hear
I'll
us.
follow.
I'm here. My camera's just overheated.
Yeah, so I think we would
Too
go
hot.
back. We would go back to the
Okay.
cubicle, and does it do anything when it's both of us in the room, or is it just?
Yep, it's lighting up for you. I'm just gonna continue as a shadowy figure in the depths.
This is actually how Gygax wanted it.
Now I gotta get the camera to cool off so I can not be what Gygax wanted.
This is true.
Yeah.
And I, for all intents and purposes, future me will just act as a translator for this.
So it's responding to your title. So as you kind of sit down, basically what this is a list of like you, Theodore. Sorry, I've got to go grab your title again. Theodore Blade of the Dark Sun. It's responding to the title you've been granted. So what it's presented you here with is a manifest. So this appears to be a duty roster of some sort.
What's to say? Like, what are the duties, things like that? As he's
Yeah. So as you kind of start, it starts with like general archivist records, people who were responsible for ensuring the security of the city itself, people who were responsible for making sure information was passed around properly from person to person. And then there's also a list of people who were in charge of the city. So the last mayor of the city. You've got records of key important figures. You've got records of religious figures within the organization who are responding. And it's basically lists of names as you're kind of going through from here.
I think Theo will probably be able to put like 2 to 2 together that these people don't exist anymore. Is there this is gonna be a funny question. Is there a way to translate this to Draconic or Common? Like make it so like go to system settings, change language.
Or chain link.
Roll me an Arcana.
Good. Is
What-
that a me roll or
either
a
of you
Theodore
can-
roll?
Either of you give me an Arcana check.
I
Yeah.
will give you an Arcana check with a +8.
Can I assist? Like just get the help action. So how does help work again? Is it disadvantage?
20?
Yeah, so it would be treated as advantage, and that's the 20 there.
Yeah.
So what you're sitting here as you're kind of relaying, as you're both kind of going through the information, future me, there is a way to switch the default language of the city. And effectively there's kind of 2 different settings that exist within here, and one of them is, you know, you can go in and you can say this is now the language the city operates on, as well as there seems to be some kind of protocol that's in place for effectively assigning a mayor. In the event the mayor is missing, you can assign the mayor, and that mayor can then issue commands. Right now it's responding to the highest ranking person in the city, who is Theo.
Gotcha.
And
And
sorry, you first.
I will. Mayor Theodore, what would you prefer the system settings to be in?
Oh, I'm so happy that it wasn't like, oh, we have a detective. What if they're mayor? And I'm like, please no, let that be a future me's thing.
You are currently the highest ranking official upon the city.
I think Theo's a little jarred at that being called mayor and taken aback by it. He's like, oh no, okay, cool. Okay.
Other thing with that future me that you know is Theo can assign a mayor. Theo can go, you're in charge.
If you are uncomfortable with the title of mayor, you may also assign it to another.
Could I be both mayor and kind of looks at the mall? This he's kind of gesturing to it.
Currently, there is no mayor, and the city is functioning as if you are the de facto ruler at the moment.
I think he kind of looks at future me and he goes back to that moment of like going across this battalion, the fleet of ships, and what future me said to him like probably 30 minutes, hour ago. I could do it. I can be the mayor. I just need the system to. I just need to be able to understand what the thing is saying.
Would you prefer Draconic?
Common. Considering that we're all here, we kind of all need to know what we're doing with this.
Understood. And I'll rewrite the system from Elvish to Common.
Future me, the sensation of saying, hey, I don't want this to be in Elvish anymore. I want it to be in Common. The system doesn't actually understand what the phrase common is, so it has to learn it somewhere. And
I will provide
You don't. You will.
I understand.
You know, and this might be just a Pixie and me thing. In Stargate SG-1, when O'Neill gets the
Yes.
information of the ancients like
Oh,
downloaded into his brain, it's that
That's one of my favorite
sensation where your
episodes.
face is grabbed
Yeah.
onto, and you feel it in your brain, like hands pulling in, and they're physically like pulling at what is common. The city is learning common in real time from you, as well as any language you know.
Okay.
That's so cool.
Then it also knows Draconic
Okay.
and Druidic.
And it lets you go all of a sudden. There's just a sudden release of you from it, leaving a kind of like moment of stun to future me. Theo, the panel in front of you, you watch it in real time. It flips over, and now it's common. It's common in front of you, and it's asking for commands. Effectively, is what it's saying. At this point, you've switched it over. You've accepted the temporary role as mayor, whether it's temporary or permanent. You currently have control of the city. You can tell it to do something, and it's waiting for you to give it further commands.
I think Theo will look at future me and say, "What should we do? Where should we go?"
Currently, the city is floating at maximum altitude above the ocean to avoid detection from any political figures, as stated previously. However, it currently stands that the city can go anywhere and do anything that we would like it to.
This is a question for the DM. Would Theo know any place where it's like isolated? Like you would have to like make a mad trek, and even then, you are playing dangerous games with your life if you do this.
You get a few options, realistically. You could just go to the middle of the ocean. There's Theo's home continent of Phephidam, which is where the Dragonborn cities are, as well as the Triso Empire. So what's now the burgeoning Republic of Triso, but was at one point when these cities were built, probably was the Triso Empire. Yeah, there's a few different places. Phephidam's a lot less populated than the Ezoth continent is. There's a lot less people. Theo can maybe put two and two together as to why that might be now, even so long in the future. And then there is a smaller, I don't want to call it uncontacted. You would know it as Tor, Torr. And you know there's a collection of independent nations that exist on there, but they like being left alone. They don't really like being involved in the world politics.
Would Theo know would it be a safe idea to take it to Phephidam? Or
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really there that would be able to access it. So you could realistically park it hell over the Triso capital, and they would just have to stare at it.
Wow, that's a big, bold move.
Additionally, I would like to remind that if the city does falter, we will land in the ocean, which will help reduce damage to the city and its populace, and anything below.
we do have some friends of ours on this city now, and I don't know how that would work with them being here. Actually, where is Heroin? Is he still kind of like bumbling around? Is he with us?
He stuck around in the control room. Like he was taking notes last you saw him. There we go. I'm back.
I think he would
Yeah.
say we should probably speak to Heroin as well and figure out where we should go with this. I don't think taking it to the mountainside where his where his home is a good option, but this needs to be a collective between me, you, and him.
I would also like to bring forward that we have 3 other party members that should be involved in the conversation. My decisions were, at the time, very quick to avoid immediate conflict and to get us out of immediate danger. We now have time.
I think Theo will put his hand on Future Me's shoulder and say, do you really want to bring more voices into a conversation after what just happened?
Yes. It is the point of having a party. Perspectives bring enlightenment. A single mind cannot grasp the whole.
You're not wrong. But do you want to put more of this on? Do you think that they would be able to handle this right now?
That is for them to decide. I cannot make that decision for them. The previous decision was made to alleviate any moral or ethical discomfort from the decisions that were made. At the end of the day, each one of you could choose to walk away from this knowing that you had done nothing wrong, and blame specifically me.
Speaking of you, if that's what you believe is the best course of action, as mayor, this is going to be a really funny title to have now.
Correct.
You should go grab our fellow compatriots and bring them all to this room. I will go grab heroin and let's sit and chat about where to park this. Then he kind of gestures to everything.
Understood.
He just nods and he's going to go off to heroin.
Yeah, Heroin is in the control room looking around just everything, taking as much information in as he possibly can.
I think he's going to wait for him to like have a moment where Heroin kind of turns over towards him before he raises his hand up to him like,
Yes, Theodore, what can I do for you?
yes, hi, hello. I'm mayor now of this city, apparently, and we need to figure out where we can park this place so that it's, one, out of any kind of major powers hand, and two, so that we're not just floating in the air for anything to kind of just run into us. I would very much like your insight. I'm not used to being mayor, and having someone a little bit more knowledgeable in the room to help influence discussions might help.
For sure, I would love to provide insight and help where I can.
How are your people holding up? Have they come by yet?
Those that came with me are fine. They're taking their time to explore the city. I'm borrowing the kobolds as scribes. They're very excited. But if they seem rather unbothered. I can't imagine why they would be concerned.
And how are you? Are you okay with everything?
I have had to make decisions in my life between academia and survival. I unfortunately see no difference in this situation, just that for the first time, I was not the one on the receiving end of the stick.
I understand. I will meet you. It's the cubicle to the left of the stairwell once you come down.
I noticed, and he kind of like runs his hand over one of the consoles, and you watch as he kind of does like the same text. He goes, "Have you done something?" As if there's just regular common text now.
Yes. With Future Me's help, the city said it needed a mayor, and I I was the highest ranking person. And he again tells them all that he's heard about with Shar, who Shar was. He then pulls out the other like uniform, just telling him again, but a little bit more slow and more, thoughtful versus Gatling gun.
Yeah.
And he'll say, so now I'm Theodore Blake, Dark Sun, mayor of, I don't even know the city's name. And future me helped get it to be able to speak common. And, well, translate it to common. And since, and seeing as since all of us need to understand what is going on and happening here, I'm not used to being a leader like this. This is not my wheelhouse. I'm usually in the back, on the ground, on top, not in front.
If I may offer insight, 2 bits of theory from this era of our collective history. One, I would be cautious of future me being left too alone with the city. Elven view on Warforged was somewhat more barbaric than even their view on regulars. They were not even seen as sentient.
Future me kind of unnerves me at a little bit at this time. I don't think I want to leave them alone in general.
Well, to the city, they may just be a machine, and I would hate to see anything happen to them. And 2, Elven culture is built on, well, they would call it exchanges of power, but I believe a more accurate modern phrase would be bribery. I don't know how much of that would be baked into this, but do be cautious, would be my request.
Well, that's why I have people who are a little bit smarter than me, who know all this magic stuff. Again, I wish my wife was here. She is better at this than me. But let's try to make something good out of, again, gestures towards everything. This.
And do have Nyx come by. I rather quite enjoyed him, and I would like to see him again.
He might give him a moment.
Fair.
I don't know how they might be feeling at the time. You can try to talk to him, but So remember that necklace? That
Vaguely.
collar?
Yes.
It seemed to be freaking him out.
I suspect it was probably a control device of some kind.
Oh, I don't feel bad about what I did. And I think, yeah, it's gone. And he tells him what he did with the hammer.
Yeah. Oh, fascinating.
It's a crazy thing.
I very much desire to know more, but I'm sure your friends are waiting for you. I would not wish to keep you.
Oh, you're coming with me. Like you're part of this conversation. You're kind of.
Oh, okay.
You're part of this conversation. You were brought into our mess, and now you're kind of entrenched in our mess. We kind of and it's nice to have someone who talks with some form of emotion and doesn't look at me like future me is not a bad face to look at, but sometimes, and right now,
for sure. Lead the way then.
And he goes down to the conference room to the left.
Are you heading back to the rest of the party, or?
I sent future me towards him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have gone downstairs to go collect everyone.
First things first.
Because I'm sure that
we will jump to you arriving at the party. Lucie, Alice, and Nyx. This is the first time you've seen.
Am I there? I left.
Oh, that's right. You slithered
Yeah, you slithered off.
I'm
off.
gone.
Lucie and Alice. This is the first time you've seen future me since things have happened.
Hello.
Just-
This is like
How's your day going?
player being like, oh my god, I love future me so much, and me as a character being like,
like seriously, yeah, I know what you mean.
Lucie kind of just like blinks up at future me, looking like still very pale, but looking kind of baffled now. Is like, hi.
I am glad to see that you are unharmed.
Thank you. What can we do for you?
Mayor Theodore of the Black Sun has requested our presence at the top of the spire.
I think Alice would just turn around. She has like no expression on her face and be like, "What did you just say?"
Currently, due to the acquisition of the hammer, Theodore is currently the highest ranking official member of this city. Therefore, the city, not having a mayor currently, has defaulted to Theodore being the current de facto mayor until a new one is elected. He would like all of our opinions on what we are doing with this city, as we now have the time and space to properly think this through.
Yeah. Get some thinking sounds good. I should probably find Nyx. He kinda took off, and probably is a conversation that all of us should have.
I can help. And I'll summon my familiar and send my owl familiar out to kind of scout and see if, from a bird's eye view, can see Nyx. I think I like put my hand down to the stone and like do this little like grabbing up motion and almost pull the bird out of the stone, and then send it off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't the bird still around? The bird's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still around, but I can like summon it again at free will.
How tall is Alice?
I think Alice is like 5 something.
Okay, so not like double Lucie's
5'5".
height or anything. 5'5". Okay, so Lucie's gonna shove her notebook back in her breast pocket and sling her bag over her shoulder, get up, and even though like while standing up she's only a little bit taller than you sitting down, she like reaches out a hand to like help you to your feet, which I think she knows is going to be completely ineffective, but it's just like a little like I'm supporting you kind of gesture.
I love these two so
Oh,
much.
adorable.
This is probably not going to be a lot of fun, but let's go see what's happening.
I think the gesture confuses Alice, but she will take your hat.
I ship it.
The steamborn and the gnome.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It'll be fan fiction. Don't worry about it.
So yeah. And Lucie's like, yeah, we should go have this conversation.
Nyx, how hard is it for future me's familiar to find you?
Oh, Nyx doesn't want to be found. Should I roll stealth?
Yeah, give me a stealth roll posed by future me's perception. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why my brain stalled right there for a second.
Oh, I didn't roll great.
I have a +10 in stealth.
Yeah.
Nope.
I did
Nyx
not
don't
roll
want to
good.
be found right now. Nyx is taking it a minute.
It
Okay.
appears that our friend is choosing to not be found.
Could just send them a message through sending.
Yeah, or you know what? I'm still connected to a bunch of you. It has not been 8 hours.
True.
Everybody can just talk to Nyx.
I was assuming or Lucie, I think, was assuming that Nyx wasn't even thinking about somebody trying to reach out that way, just kind of assumed that Nyx would have been like, and I'm ending that spell.
I don't think it's a concentration spell. I just think it happens until the time runs out.
Pretty sure Theo is just like, nah, you talk to me. Now you gotta talk to the rest of the party.
What does this say?
Creatures.
Like face to face. Like, you're not sending no message from
No,
my
it is just a time thing. It is not a concentration spell or anything, so I don't think Nyx can just stop it.
Just
No.
I think you
Okay.
can dismiss a spell. Like, I think that's just always an option.
But is it a spell? It's just psychic whispers.
It's an ability. I'd be willing to bet that you can end
yeah,
it.
as a magic action. Choose one or more creatures. Okay, it is magic action. So I guess since he had a panic attack, the spell's gone.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Then I think, not sure if it would have ended. Alice would have tried that first, and realizing like the line is like dead, he will send a sending to Nyx. Just saying, Theo is mayor now?
Question mark?
Question mark. Wants all of us to meet up to plan next steps.
You got
I don't
10
have-
more if you want.
I don't think she needs more. I think that's the basics of it. Oh, maybe to where to meet. Meet. Where are we meeting? At the Crystal?
We're at the in the spire.
Meet in the Spire, please.
Quick questions. Are there stairs?
Yep.
Yes.
Lots of
You
them.
know, you've been there.
Nyx really doesn't want to go.
Before we get to the meeting, we'll time jump to everyone meeting in the space or finding out whether or not Nyx joins them. Let's take a quick break, stretch our legs, let my camera cool off, I guess.
I have to
refill
fix
our
my
waters.
monitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be back in 5, everyone.
Alrighty.
Yeah, see you. Uno.
And we're back.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay. When we last left off, you were all headed to meet up at the city, or at the control room.
Mhm.
Blackwell was there with Heroin. Future me had brought Alice and Lucie. Nyx, do you come?
Did I get an answer back or no?
Were you using sending or were you using?
I asked if I had a sending stone, and you said yes.
Oh, then yes. Your patron informs you that they will look into
That.
making sure that is taken care of.
All right, and okay, and I guess I'm gonna keep them informed from now on, so I gotta remember that. Because I should probably been doing that in the first place, but I don't think Nyx has been.
He's been drinking.
You know that bottle of booze Nyx stole from the last guy? Nyx is down. I guess, yeah, I think Nyx would be there, but I think Nyx would just be like standing offish, like in like the back, just like very quiet, just not talking, just like arms crossed, just standing there.
Okay.
Oh, after climbing up the stairs, probably the last one there.
Annoyed,
Puffing
angry.
and puffing. So many stairs.
Like, couldn't they
Why
make this
can't we
on a
get
small
ramps
place.
installed?
Why couldn't they just put this in like the smaller levels? No, they had to go to the highest floor to have this fucking meeting.
Yeah, it's taken Lucie a while.
Well, maybe Nyx meets up with Lucie on the way.
Yeah.
I think as he's seeing his party members come up, you know, those who have to walk up, the first ones who ever came in, I think he would look at Heroin and say, I wonder if we can reformat the city to have elevators. Like, is that a thing we can do? I guess
Some
we
of my
can.
companions are kind of short or don't have legs.
He's talking to Heroin about it, like maybe somehow
Like Nyx
Making
is
that a thing.
short. Nyx is like 8 feet.
Accessibility would
These
be
slithers.
acceptable and encouraged.
Everyone hydrate and
Oh,
make sure your cities
Well-
are ADA compliant.
I think as Future Me says that, he's definitely like, yeah, we should make it a little bit easier, especially with, because he thinks about the kobolds, the other creatures that come here, and it's just like, oh yeah. Let's talk to the city or okay. Hello. So I'm mayor now, which that's a thing, along with the last known Dark Star. It's a lot. How's everyone doing?
It's kind of been a day. I don't know how I'm doing. I'm not even sure what happens. We didn't have much perspective on it from down there.
Think Theo's gonna look over at Future Me, kind of nod towards them.
we are currently flying above international waters, rotating slowly as to avoid detection.
And before we got to international waters.
Technically, we were above international waters after we started. Hold on. Technically, we were in international waters when the city was landed and floating upon the ocean surface.
Allison's like, doesn't really have any facial expressions, but she'll just look at future me, tilt her head and be like, you know what I mean.
The military flotilla sent to capture us is currently disposed of. This was to ensure that we were not followed.
The entire, like all of them.
Correct.
Like, how many are we talking?
Approximately 2,000. Quite a large military fleet for a total of 5 people.
Oh,
I think Nyx is just gonna have his head down, like his hat, like covering his face, and it's just like standing in the back. Just, and the bottle's open. Oh yeah, the bottle's open in hand and is just drinking from it. He's going to stop drinking. He's not going to do it now. Takes time.
You have to want to stop.
Right now, there's not any. He's not up for that.
So, as you see, this is it's like you said, a lot to take. But we still got to figure out what to do with as he once again gestures to the room. I know a couple of places, and one of them, Taro, we could take the city there. They don't like being bothered, though. Those people, the people there, they're small groups. They generally do not like being bothered. They kind of stay away from any major world powers, and this will be bringing something major over towards them. We could take it back to my old home, where the Dragonborns would just either have this floating over them or outside of their city. It's full of scholars and people who have more know-how than me. I was never the scholarly sort. My family could attest to that. I was never really the scholarly sort. Or eventually, as the city loses power, we can just stay out in the ocean and have it just sink down to the bottom of the ocean. But then that kind of puts us in a weird predicament of how do we get out of this place? I'm up to hearing any other options of where we can take this thing, but the main thing is it can't really go anywhere where people will want to use it.
so use it like
From what Shar told me, if this thing requires charge, let's call it what it is, life force. It requires lives.
wait. So the power to bring us up here came from the fleet.
Correct.
But if they, I mean, when we found this place, there was no power at all. So where did that power come from?
There was
At the time, we were unaware of the definition of charges.
You
I
know,
believe there's a small empty city nearby the crash site of this city.
just the whole city that. Oh. That's heavy.
I assure you, the first charging of the city was a mistake.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop me from feeling that, like, if we weren't here and adventuring and everything, like, yeah, we didn't know what the cost would be, but even if I tell that to my brain, the rest of me doesn't feel that. It still feels like we're the reason a lot of people are dead. just kind of looks down and she's like sort of just scuffing her toe against the ground. Like she can't really think of anything more to say right now.
There's not really much, unfortunately, we can do about that. A choice was made. And now we have to figure out where to go from here. Again, I'm open to suggestions. I would rather us figure out what to do about the city. If there's a way to do something with it, I don't know. Like, if there's a way to shut it down fully or use it for some kind of good. Again, I'm terrible at any of this. I'm not like you all, as he gestures to everyone. I don't understand this. I've never been a magical sort of person. Again, my wife is better than this than me.
Well, I think that the first suggestion that I have is that everybody here needs to commit that if that's where the power comes from, we don't charge this city again. Even if that means
Correct.
crashing into the ocean. Okay.
Correct. My intention was to buy us time to find the proper decisions. Additionally, it was to keep the present company safe.
Because we did kind of, as he gestures towards heroin, drag some friends into this.
Oh, well, I mean, if I may offer an alternative to hiding the city, your current trajectory puts it well out of reach of all but the most stringent of airships. It would give my people a place that's safe.
I believe this is the best option. Hera and I discussed it briefly before the city took off. The city has the capacity to do horrible things, but a tool lacks morality. We have the capacity to find an alternate way to charge the city and turn this city into a beacon of hope. Hello, Raiders. Hello, New Age geeks. Thank you for raiding.
Oh, hello.
Nice.
Welcome.
How long
Although-
would it
I love you.
go on?
I understand if the actions taken to this point dissuade that line of thinking. Hola, hi.
I think Theo would put the hammer on the maul on the table. He's been holding it this entire time. Like, it's kind of like to the point where it's like, it's he knows he's doing it, but it's like it's a stress thing. Puts them at the table and says, "The man that gave this to me, all intents and purposes, was not a good person, and I intend to figure out how to use this thing for some kind of good. If you can figure out how to make this good and figure out how to, I don't know magic, maybe siphon magic from the air. Is that how it works? I don't know. I don't know how y'all do this. If you can figure out how to do something with that, then cool. We still gotta make sure it just doesn't get into anyone else's hands. I don't want to see things that I saw happen in real time."
Heroin kind of takes us. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Heroin takes a step forward and gestures towards the central console. As I understand, there are really only two people that have access to controlling the city. Yourself and future me. With neither of you present or wishing ill, the city will remain in standby mode until directed otherwise.
So where are we taking it? Or can I give you authorization as well? I mean, mayors, vice presidents, secretaries, like things like Ugh, politicians. Ugh.
Additionally, for all present, the consoles have been translated to Common. Please read at your own leisure.
You are thinking of the term mayor a little too modern. The mayor of a city as an elected official. This is a sort of royal title of essence. Again, it's a little different than what most expect of it in the modern era, but in this sense, mayors were local lords, effectively, would be a fair comparison. So you could grant titles that is within your realm to do, and with that lands as are also within your realms to do. And he looks back, he goes, I don't fully understand Elvish legal customs. It's very convoluted, and they may have killed each other over it at points. I'm not sure if that's metaphorical or not. Some of the documentation is unclear.
Let's not do the kill each other part. And hey, future me, could you talk to the console and just ask it to give heroin authority as well?
What type of authority would we like to provide heroin with?
The same amount of authority as me and you have. Because if this is going to be their home, they might as well get comfy.
Oh no.
Oh, your battery.
No, David, no, buddy.
It's another $1 for the jar.
Yes.
Oh, my technical difficulties jar. I missed the jar. Oh, my technical difficulties.
You've had a few dollars go in there tonight too, geek.
Shut up.
Yeah.
It's the battery exhausted for me.
Battery exhausted.
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
me
Just
too.
exhausted.
It's a mood.
That is a mood.
Relatable.
I feel like as this is happening, like Nyx is like gripping the bottle, just hearing people talk, and it's just
Mhm.
gripping the bottle more and more, and then all of a sudden you guys just hear a shatter in the corner as he's just like he gripped the bottle so much that it shattered in his hands. From all of this.
Nyx, is your hand okay?
Oh, I didn't plan for that. I didn't expect for future me to care. I think Nyx is just like holding up a hand, like just like stop, like just stop.
Is it the hand that crushed the bottle?
Yes,
Is it bloody?
probably he crushed a bottle with his bare hands.
I will heal it.
Was that piercing damage?
I was gonna do it if you did it.
No.
Yeah, or Lucie.
I will heal it. I will spend a first level spell on cure wounds to heal whatever damage that is.
I don't know. I was gonna wait till David came back.
Yeah, it like 1 point of piercing damage.
I'll fix it.
Cool. Thank you.
Lose 1 health point, gain 1 health point.
just standing there, just like shatters it in his hand, and just looks at everybody, and be like, "Is everybody insane? Like, are you
No.
all just? You don't get to talk."
Understood.
Yes, good. We are not putting this anywhere near a city. That is a bad idea in general. We are not putting this anywhere where anything else can be hurt. We need to find people that understand this more than we do before we go flying this around pretending that we own it. We need to find scholars who can to fix this power source, make it so it doesn't suck up lives. And here we are talking about who's mayor? Who gives a shit who's mayor?
Hey, Nyx, we were talking about that.
It's more like talking about going to near a city. And you were there. You heard the gunshots just fire and then stop. This is nowhere near a city. This can't be near a city, can't be near a town. If it falls in the ocean, so be it. But it cannot go near a town or city.
I believe Nyx is correct.
Do you have a suggestion for us to get to any kind of scholars? Like I said, I can go to
it's like we have someone who can teleport. Like Nyx is just done at this point. It's like we invited someone to teleport here who is also a scholar who probably knows other people we can teleport to.
Nyx. We were discussing all that. Listen, I understand you're going through a lot right now. And it's a lot that we don't understand and we can't comprehend. But check the fuck into the conversation, because we can't do anything if you're like this as well. So as we were stating before, we can go.
Have no idea
you do not
what
get
you've
to
done.
speak right now if you're not contributing to the conversation.
Your
We
idea
have already
was to put it
discussed.
near a city, and
We've already discussed that we were going to get help. We can't handle this on our own. We have somebody here who can assist with us. You were here when this conversation happened. Were you not? Or are you just wanting to be angry at someone?
What the fuck was that? Sorry, what was that? Everybody okay? I just heard a bunch of cheering. I was like, what was that?
I apologize.
Was that you?
I have. Yeah, I didn't realize that we could hear them through the door. Usually it's pretty soundproofed in here.
I was like,
I have
what the fuck's going on over here?
my roommates and one of my roommates' girlfriends is here, and they're watching car crash compilations in the other room.
Oh,
that's a whole ass mood right now. This is a car crash.
I did not know that they could be picked up through the mic. I apologize.
That was funny. I just like both of us just
rectify
I just
that.
stopped being like, what the fuck was that?
Hey, yo, cameraman, rewind that track a little bit.
Threw me off. Sorry, I'm trying to be like a pissed off Nyx. I'm really not good at making a pissed off character. I think like
You're doing great.
I'm really not. I'm trying my best. It's really hard to do a pissed off character. I think Nyx just looks straight at him and just laughs pretty much in his face, and he says, "When you figure out how to stop killing thousands, I'll be in the next room. I said my piece. You don't want to hear any more? Contact me when you guys got all this figured out then." And he's just gonna slither out of the room.
Once Nyx leaves the room, Lucie looks up at Theo and like gathering the full height of her small frame is like, you realize that something more is going on with him than what's happened with the city, right? I don't know what it was that happened down there, but you were there, and something about that necklace, and I mean that fucked him up. Did you like? I don't think it was the city that panicked him like that, and
I can't help someone who's not willing to talk to me right now. Maybe
you can at least think about it though. Like that's.
I'm having to think about the collective of everyone in this room right now and what to do with this. If you would wish to talk to him, by all means. But we kind of have to deal with this as well. We all have.
He's mad. That's it. You're perfectly fine with him being out of the conversation that affects all of us, potentially the whole world.
If he's not willing to contribute or to give constructive feedback, you heard him. He was upset that we weren't talking about things that we've already were discussing.
And you don't think that somebody who's like going through the trauma that he's obviously going through right now, maybe like is zoning in and out a little, or having trouble focusing, or just like not processing this situation?
Then they take the time, and like he said, when we figured it out, come grab him.
It's
again,
like,
if you would wish
to just be completely calm and not have any feelings about this.
I don't expect anyone to be calm, but the only thing is, if we're all freaking out, there's nothing we can do. You don't think that I'm freaking out? Internally, I'm freaking out. But if we're all sitting here biting at each other's necks right now, what the fuck are we doing? I don't get to go back to my normal life right now. I don't get to go back to my farm, to my wife, to just building a regular life anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
This was supposed to be
because
my
I-
last mission. But now here we are in a floating city. I understand that everybody's not in a good place. But would you rather us sit here and just go through each other's personal traumas? Or would you rather us figure out what to do with the city? How to do better with it? Get this situated and then help each other out. Because this will always be looming over us.
Yeah, it will be looming over us probably for a long time, but there's going to be other things going on. And like, yeah, I know this is a crisis and it could be the world ending, but also like people might need more than 5 minutes to feel their feelings and understand what's going on here before that they can make a decision that's going to affect so many people. Like maybe it takes some of us more than 5 minutes to process the fact that we just accidentally killed thousands of people in 2 different places and there's
He made
nothing
a
we
choice
can
to
do
come
about
here.
it. And
Again, he made a choice to come to this room. He could have just said no or just not shown up. I would not have been mad. If you are worried and concerned about him, go to him.
and then you'll make the decision without me too.
If we
You've
must.
decided this decision is happening right now, no matter what anyone is going through. And maybe some of us can't have clear heads until we have had a chance to figure out how we feel.
We don't have time.
I would like to interject. In fact, actually, I believe we do have time. It was the purpose of my actions.
You could tell us the direct time. Be like, we have 5 hours, 92 minutes, and 32 seconds.
Theo's just
It is
gonna
not
sigh.
an infinite amount of time, but
Think-
I believe it is enough time to perhaps take a moment to breathe.
I keep on forgetting, like, Theo had a farm. I'm like, oh yeah, Theo was like legit just a farmer who just was like, hey, can you go check on these people? And then this happened.
And Lucie kind of looks up a little like less angry this time. Is like, and by the way, this is my first mission. And in just a couple days, now I can probably never go back to my life either.
So we both have something to share with. Your first mission, it should have been my last. So if you want time, as
Sir.
future me just said, we have, I don't know how much time, but apparently enough
Time.
just time. If you all would like to go just rest, you can. I'm not stopping you. You do that. Please go rest if necessary. And when you want to talk, I will be here. I will be here figuring out what to do next. It's not that I do not care about any of you, how you feel. I care as if you're my own children, and I have many children and grandchildren. Their livelihoods mean a lot to me, and y'all livelihoods mean a lot to me. I have to be the one to deal with this right now, if no one else will. So if you wish to go rest, by all means, I will not be upset.
That
I will
sounds
be
an
here.
awful lot like while we're resting, you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do.
Is that how you see me?
I mean, I don't know. I've known you for less than a week. I don't know anything about you. I didn't know you had a farm or kids or a wife. Well, I mean, I knew about your wife because you've talked about her a lot. But, like, other
She's
than
a
that, I
she's a
didn't know-
beautiful woman. You
I
two
didn't
would
know
probably get
anything about your
along.
wife. I don't know if any of you have families, and none of you really know anything about me.
Yes.
So, no, I don't know you well enough to just blindly trust.
Then you're
Especially
going to
not
have to
fucked
figure
up
out how
everything
to
is right
trust.
now.
You're going to have to figure out how to trust. just as much as I'm trusting you all to have my back and to be safe for my sake and your sake. Did you even also ask me, hey, were you going to do anything while we were asleep?
I mean,
Now,
what
why?
you said,
What did
what you
you ask
said
me?
was that we could rest if we wanted, but that at this moment you were the one who had to be responsible to do this. That
Yes,
sounds
but
an
did you
awful lot
ask
like.
me, was I going to do anything? Did you ask me, was I going to do anything?
No, I didn't. But also, you don't need to talk to me like I'm a child just because I'm so small. Like,
If that's how you feel I'm talking to you right now, I'm sorry. But I need you to understand. You cannot assume we're going to do something. Like you said, you don't know us. I don't know you. I will be in this room figuring out what to do next. And when y'all are ready to come join the conversation, I will still be in this room. And like you said, we will decide this as a team. I will bring you options, as I did before.
for the record, I'm old enough and smart enough to know when I'm being talked to like I'm a child. And I'm gonna go check on Nyx. Because I don't think that I have anything productive to offer right now. And she's just gonna leave.
Thank you.
What a good like, is the right one?
Because like Lucie right now, she feels like Theo was just one step away from like, I understand you're feeling some big feelings right now.
Oh, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. If Theo ever whips that out, that's gonna be like, oh no.
Alice, Lucie, and heroin. Would anyone else like to take a break from this conversation?
When you aren't looking at future me, I am going to shoot you in the back of the head with a nerp gun. Oh, I forgot about the nerp gun.
Nothing, people.
A little soft foam dart hits the back of your head.
Nerp or nothing.
He just picks up the dart. I'm assuming this is your way of saying, take a break.
I believe it is best if we all take a breather.
I will be
You
here.
may have the authority, and you may have the ability to clamp down on emotion to make logical decision. But as it stands, I believe this group needs an equal part of both, not just one or the other.
I will be here then.
Understood. I will also be here. I have nowhere else to go currently.
Oh, you want to talk about our feelings?
He looks at heroin. Would you like to take a break and check on your people, or would you like to stay and discuss?
For us, once we have a better understanding of the plan, I can bring them here. It's relatively straightforward for magic for me, but it depends on whether or not it's the right call for all of you.
He looks towards Alice. Would you like to take a break, Alice?
This is gonna be ridiculous. I'm sorry because this is such a tense moment. But the first thing she's going to say to Theo is, I thought your title was the Dark Sun, not Star.
Alice knows.
You see him, Chris, crack a smile.
He's just like, shit. Damn it, that is my title. I fucked up. All right. Yeah.
I hate leading.
But sorry. But second, she will look at the three in the room and at the door where Nyx and Lucie left through and say, with all that has happened, perhaps it is a good idea to just step back and what's the word you use? Assess your feelings, no matter what they may be, before making any bigger decisions that regard more than the people on this city.
Theo nods and says, if you all wish to explore the city and see what is going on and also catch up with our friends, you are free to do so. I will be here mulling over ideas, and when you're ready, we can talk. Future me, can you figure out how much time we have in the air?
Yes. I will also instate Heroin as an authority figure.
Thank you.
And I will trot off to go do that and figure out what that timeline looks like.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, I imagine, like, at this point, Theo's alone in the room.
Yeah, everyone's kind of departed to do other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would put his head in his hands and once more, and it's just rubbing the ring, and he's just muttering to himself, I wish you were here right now. I really wish you were here.
We do need someone who knows magic.
Well, she knows divine, arcane, some necromancy.
She might be a good idea just to show up. Hit, hit, nudge, nudge, call your wife.
Future me, you know that in its current state,
Yeah.
the city can basically remain here for several years uninterrupted.
Oh, perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I will instate Heroin as something of an authority figure, whatever the system will allow.
You've granted him a lordship title, and the city has
Beautiful.
accepted that as
And I will go back to Theo and I go, according to current projections, we are able to stay at this velocity and height for approximately many years. We have time.
Okay. Would you sit with me, future me? We don't have to talk, just...
Of course. And I
Harold,
will
Mhm.
sit maybe across from you.
It's just
And I
sort-
will... No, I'll take a moment and I'll reach into my bag and I'll reach up with my hand and like pop the like sheen, like metallic face plate off. And you can see like inside, it's not like mechanical workings. It's almost like it's I think maybe similar to the city core. It has that like central gem and like multiple floating apparatus around it. And then I reach into my bag and I put the previous faceplate in there and I pull up another one and I slot it on, and you are now looking at approximately like a this by this sized cork board. I believe it is a good time to think and reflect and take space. I will remain.
Nyx and Lucie.
Mhm.
You're in the same room. Or at least Lucie, I believe you went after Nyx, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think Nyx is pretty much just like, I think Nyx went to the roof. I know, more stairs. Nyx doesn't even like stairs, but Nyx went to the roof.
So it's less of a roof and more of a like open balcony space that kind of like wraps around the outside of the tower.
Okay, bougie. All right, got it.
These are people that like to be seen doing important things.
Great, cool. I think Nyx is just staring out at this city. Can you call it a city if it doesn't have any people in it? This place is just staring out at this place and just looking out at it. Just hat is off. Hat is like has the little like ribbon thing and is actually taken off and just like is on the back, so it looks like it's just hanging there. As he's just like looking out at the city. Just and I have a feeling, quick question, just want to know, how quiet is your character coming up the stairs? Like, are they quiet? Are they Pixie?
Probably like not super
Like-
super loud, but also not super quiet. What with the kind of like sort of boosting up each step. So like
I like Nyx would be able to hear you.
probably yeah.
And I think with just like your footsteps and everything, I think like Nyx would know like they're walking. There's only a few people that have to walk up the stairs. The way they're walking, yeah, I kind of had to figure it out. And when you open the door to see him, he's just gonna like not even look at you, but just say, "I'm sorry."
What
Just
are you
like,
sorry for.
this was your only mission with us, and this isn't how it's supposed to end. This was not your choice. This is not your fight, and now you're stuck in the middle of this.
Get the feeling just from bits of conversation today that that's not an unusual thing for it all to just kind of go sideways. And
There's sideways, and then there's what just happened.
yeah. Usually I'm pretty good at thinking on my feet because I kind of never know what I'm going to find when I'm on a site. But yeah, this is pretty heavy. But it's also nothing you have to apologize about. Like, I see that this is hitting you hard.
This is my team. They keep on saying, I'm the leader. I have to make the decisions. And at the end of the day, I just watched one of my party members take lives that will be on my conscience for the rest of my life.
I mean, sounds like somebody else is trying to lead the team right now.
Yes, and one of the options he gave was go buy a city. And that just made my blood boil. And I don't think they understand what not just the lives that were taken, families that are going to mourn their wives, daughters, brothers, mothers, people that just had jobs trying to get in and out of days' work. They see another goal to fix, and that's great, but hearing it go near a city and hearing those gunshots just suddenly stop and realizing what all just happened, it doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, I kind of feel like anyone who isn't here now probably shouldn't be exposed to this place unless they're pretty carefully vetted in the first place, too, because the more people are involved, the higher the chances are that there's going to be somebody in them that's either just a really bad person or maybe a not so bad person who gets really tempted, or I know that we probably need more people to look into this. I'm not going to be able to figure it out by myself, that's for sure. But
we need people that know arcane. We need people that know how to deal with this, how to destroy or fix this city like they want to, but I hopefully you can go back to whatever life you had beforehand. Hopefully Theo can go back to running his farm with his wife. Alice can go back to her many, many books and trying to figure out what it's like to be on the frontier and understand how people are. Future me can go back to their studies and learn everything that they can. At least the records will be wiped from them.
I mean, horrible, tragic disaster aside, this is the kind of place I usually spend my time. There's stuff to be learned here, even if I can't publish traditionally anymore, or really, I don't know. I don't know what it means for any of that, but I can still explore. Maybe that can help us figure this out. It's kind of all I got right now.
Jeez, that also threw me off. Sorry, just imagine pop music. I think Nyx is just gonna look at you and Nyx is a very particular person. He seems very quiet. He seems very like, oh, I don't really care. But he just gives you like the saddest little smile as he then just looks out at the city and he goes, yeah, at least somebody can have something, right?
Lucie reaches into her bag and pulls out that little orb of the crystal and says, and I mean, if all else fails, we can figure out how to destroy this. It should transfer to the big one.
Yeah, looks at you and looks at the crystal and pretty much goes, it should be a backup plan. If something gets taken, let's say we don't have control of the city anymore or anything like that, we should have a backup plan.
Blow it up.
Exactly. But right now, I feel like we need scholars. We need all this. It's just having that option, even be an option. Just let's go to a city. Let's go to this city. Let's go to. I just kept on processing, hearing a bunch of cities and then all of them going silent like we did.
I think we have to stay where we are and bring people here.
That's probably a good idea.
Now, it's not completely hidden, but it's really hard for anybody to get to.
Yeah. Future me knows one thing from our travels together is how not to be detected. Which is great.
I'm going to float some names as people we could bring here. The arcane isn't my specialty. The past is. But I know a lot of folks in the field, and some of them are kind of on the fringes like me, so they do some research and stuff that, like, I don't know, isn't what you would find like in an esteemed university or whatever. So, maybe I've got some folks that can help us with this project.
You know what? That sounds perfect. You should probably talk to Theo about it. He probably has a list already starting.
Yeah, probably. But I need a bit of time before I go back in there again.
Old man got to you too?
Yeah. Sometimes I think that people look at me and don't realize that I'm like almost 130 years old and I have a lot of life experience. Being small kind of, I don't know. It also makes me a little sensitive about when I think somebody is talking down to me because boy, have I put up with that a lot. It's one of the reasons I think that like gnomes kind of stick to our own universities and stuff because, nobody's looking down on anybody then. Physically, I mean. But I don't really know everybody yet, and maybe when I get to know them better, I'll understand it all more. Today it got under my skin. It got to me.
Nyx nods and goes, yeah, I get where you're coming from. People see me, saw the collar, and expected something that I was not. And so I play into that role, play to what people expect me to be. And I think I just hit a broken point because now all that pretending, all that sacrifice, it's gone now. It's somebody I know might be in extreme danger out of a stupid decision, and it's the one thing that I promised I would never let be in danger again.
Well, maybe when you feel like it, we could talk about that and see if we could come up with anything.
He chuckles slightly and he looks at you and he goes, I don't really talk about this with the party, mostly because, I have to make sure future me isn't burning a kitchen to the ground. I had to make sure Alice is not sinking in the mud sometimes. I gotta make sure Theo doesn't piss off everybody and focuses on pissing off just me. But it's nice to talk to you about this. So thank you for all that counts. Thank you for being here. I know that you'll be able to help more than I can.
Well, and just in case it comes in handy, I know a lot of hidden underground temples and ruins that no one would ever find without my notes. So if we need to hide someone.
She doesn't even know I exist anymore. So it doesn't matter.
I'm sorry that you're going through that. Do you want some space, or should I sit here while I make my notes?
I don't mind. You can sit here and make your notes. I'm just trying to figure out what next steps. But
the company is nice. Don't feel like you need to talk. I can entertain myself.
I think at this point, like, Nyx sees like the sun is coming up, and he's seen your hat because your hat covers, but from the sprite, it doesn't look like it covers a lot. So I think Nyx would take off his hat and just put it on top of you, so you have more shade. So you have more shade for your book and everything, and he just like puts it on top of you, and he goes, "Thanks." And he just
it's definitely that little cloche with just
yeah. So I was like, "You're gonna get heat stroke. I'm just gonna funk," like, and just puts it on your head and just leans and just lets you work. And like, if you mumble while you work, that's fine. He's just there as a person.
Yeah. And Lucie is gonna take that time to make a note of folks that she knows who are either, be they like researchers or archaeologists or whoever she thinks might have any kind of input on what's happening here. Some of them reputable, some of them probably considered to be total quacks by, most science. And just like kind of write them down and where they're located and like what their area of expertise is. Just as kind of more ideas to add to the who can help us figure this shit out list.
All right.
Okay. We have some plans. Heroin has access to control of the city. Oh, yep.
Can I ask future me to do one more thing?
No.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
I think Theo will look at future me and say, make sure that only I can authorize other people as overall users as well. They had a point about, I don't know, just, we don't need more messes.
Understood. And I will get up. And I think since this is happening kind of after like some time has passed, the corkboard face has like multiple little pieces of paper with like notes on them, just like pinned in with little pins. As I get up and I adjust and I go and get that done.
when Lucie comes back in after a while, she's gonna offer Theo a smudged piece of paper, and say, "So, I thought about it, and these are some people I know who know a lot about magic and the past. Some of them are kind of weird, but they're all people who I think might be able to help in some way or another. I wrote down like where they are and what they're good at too. So maybe this will help with plans." She'll hand it up to him.
He'll take it. He'll look at it. Does he recognize any of these names? He's been around.
Is
Just
his
out of
wife on
curiosity.
there?
Yeah. DM, what do you think? Because I'm assuming that it's like, a couple of like respected professors and then a bunch of people who are more kind of on the outside of things like Lucie is that aren't
And
taken super seriously.
I would say, yeah, definitely, when it comes to somebody of knowledge, I would say there's a couple of names you recognize on there, one of which I would definitely say is your wife.
I think he would lock onto that.
And I would have no idea that this person that I have encountered at some point, at least in passing, is Theo's wife, right?
You probably wouldn't be able to recognize it. If I remember correctly, you guys don't share the same last name. I don't remember on the.
We never discussed that, but I would be down for it.
Yeah. Not the same last name. Definitely wouldn't recognize immediately that they're. Yeah.
Oh, we have a hydrate. Sorry, from banking.
Oh,
oh, thank you.
thanking. Thank you for hydrate.
I think Theo would look at all the names, see her name.
I'm out of the hydrate.
Neon, you know better.
I
take a
drink
moment.
so much.
You drink and you know things.
He would take a moment after seeing her name and then saying, "See if we can get them here. See if we can." Again, I don't know how magic works. Pop down to their side of the world. You and Heroin may be able to figure that out. Get to where they're at, bring them here. Just gather up all the minds that we can. Thank you.
Thanks for considering it. I'm gonna dig into one of these consoles for a bit and see what I see.
Sounds like a plan.
And Lucie will go just like set up camp at one of the consoles, like notebook out, probably like a little water flask out and all of that. Just like it definitely looks like
They're
a
gonna be there.
college student who has not finished their paper that's due tomorrow and is going to be
We've all been there. We've all been there.
A 12-hour.
Yeah, absolutely looks like what she's preparing for.
I will add the list of contacts to our pre-existing data set. And I will take the piece of paper and just bonk.
I love it.
We have some plans. We have some ideas. We have a list of names that we'll have to come up with a little bit better. Which means I'm going to need some time to prepare to get you guys around. So we'll end it for the night. Thank you to all of our viewers for coming and hanging out. New Age Geeks, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for bringing your lovely audience here to come and hang out with us for a little bit. It has been a wonderful evening. Thank you to my 5 amazing, lovely players for putting up with a dozen technical issues throughout the night.
Some of it was mine. I'll own up to that.
Is it not a stream if there's no technical difficulties?
No, I don't think it's a Logomancy without.
David, do we bring back the technical
No.
difficulties jar?
Not until I get some things ironed out.
He's like, please.
That's a yes.
To all of our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been lovely having you here. I think we had possibly our first ever hype train. I might have pushed that over.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I saw the opportunity and I was like, that's $15 well spent.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
If you love watching us and hanging out with us, we have a Discord where we post every time we go live. So you can always check in there, and it will tell you when we are going to be going live. We also post on some of our socials. We are on every social platform, although that might be reduced with months
Change.
to come. We'll see what the vibe check feels like. Of course, we have a website, which is where you can buy things like the lovely shirt that Neon is wearing tonight, which feature our wonderful logo on it, and the soon-to-be arriving shirt or sweater that Allison's going to wear, a cropped bunny hug, if that's your thing. The best way to support us, of course, is just by tuning in. So by all means, you are by no means required to pick up merch. But if you love it and you do want to support us additionally, all of that money goes into making everything happen, like buying a lot of the tech that's failed tonight. So, you know,
Like fixing a lot of the tech that has previously failed.
You know, you can help us upgrade, you know, get better tech.
But no, in all seriousness, it helps us do a ton of things. It helps us do a ton of projects. We'll probably be at Gamescom Canada this year, and that's done on the backs of a lot of the support that you guys do. And of course, by all means, if you can and you are able to, and it's within your means, and you feel so inclined to support the channel, donating through subs here on Twitch, or I don't think we've got anything set up for YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, check out the website. That's going to be the best way to do it. You get some cool merch out of it as well. From the bottom of our hearts, as always, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us and just being fantastic. We are going to send some love over to one of our followers. I'm just looking to see who is, or one of the people we follow, looking to see who is live right now. Oh my god. Why is this being such a... We're gonna send you over to the unusual table. Looks like they
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
are live. So we're gonna start all the functions up right now to send you over to them. Tell them we said hello. Go drop them a follow if you're not currently following them, and have a wonderful rest of your night or day, depending on where the sun is in the sky for you right now. Thank you, and good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.